who is preparing you for the Axelrod-style slime machine op research that is sure to hit you as a loyal Republican office holder?
You know, I've been through a lot of tough races. And I think that the style and mediums today are different than they used to be, but Abraham Lincoln went through a lot of tough races too. Whatever happens, if we make the move to decide to run, it shall be. And I reflect back on a manatee. You know what a manatee is? That nice creature trying to do good out there just eating a little grass. And then that motorboat just runs over the top of them. Scars up their back pretty tough, and then they got a tough leather hide and they keep on going.
The first-term treasurer announced his gubernatorial bid last June.
We can take this state, ladies and gentlemen. We can take it to a place that we can once again be proud of.
And as the only GOP statewide office holder to make a run, immediately was positioned to be a top-tier candidate. In raw votes, Rutherford, in his bid for treasurer, had outpolled Governor Pat Quinn statewide in 2010. Rutherford closed out 2013 with a respectable $1.39 million in his campaign fund.
If a general election were held today, Quinn would lose in a close race with Treasurer Dan Rutherford.
But in early February,
there's absolutely no truth to the allegations.
Rutherford's campaign began taking on water because of a federal lawsuit from a former male staffer who alleged Rutherford made improper sexual advances toward him and pressured his state staffers to do campaign work. Rutherford forcefully denied those allegations.
This thing smells.
And Rutherford's numbers are starting to slide. A Chicago Tribune poll of the Republican candidates has him in the third-place spot. These allegations are, if they are false, Dan Rutherford still has a tough few weeks ahead of him.
Oh, it got ugly fast.
Ron, even though he worked for a Republican state treasurer, the man who filed the lawsuit against Dan Rutherford is a registered Democrat who's already landed a new government job in heavily Democratic Cook County.
He is also a sophisticated, middle-aged attorney and a veteran player of Chicago politics. Michalowski seems to have used some high-level clout to land that post.
Some have questioned how Michalowski was able to leave one government job Friday and have another the following Monday morning.
This office, which is run by a Democratic head, gave a guy who messed up the Republican primary a job, a soft landing place a week after he dirtied it up.
Wow, I never heard it put like that.
Lenders have also had his West Side home in foreclosure court since 2008. We wanted as well to ask about the following coincidence. On the same day last month that Michalowski was due in federal bankruptcy court to face charges of defaulting on his payment plan, Michalowski's attorney was demanding $300,000 from Rutherford, in exchange for which Michalowski would have dropped all his harassment claims.
Is that extortion, though?
Let me just say that we are looking at all facets of what is happening here today.
Michalowski's lawsuit said he felt forced to resign from the state treasurer's office. The move did not hurt him financially, though. He got an $8,000 raise by taking the new job with the Cook County Recorder of Deeds. It pays $107,000 a year.
What is being claimed here, I think most people are looking at it and seeing it sounds a little fishy.
It's obviously suspicious, the timing of it. I think that's the first thing that comes to everyone's mind. You know, why just a couple of weeks before the election just come out and not, you know, any time in 2011 when it happened.
But the timing of this being filed so close to the primary, I think naturally leads to questions about, you know, what the motivations are here, and none of us are going to know how this turns out before the primary.
When we caught up to him outside his new office at the Cook County building today, we asked what many voters are asking.
We'd just like to ask you why you waited for 2.5 years before you filed the complaint.
Look, I'm working right now, and for my work arrangement, I'm not supposed to be talking about any of this on county time.
Okay. So if you're walking in a hallway. Why did you wait for 2.5 years before you filed these complaints, made these allegations?
Michalowski's troubled financial history, including bankruptcy and home foreclosure, his political patronage connections, and a 2.5-year delay in filing his lawsuit all raise questions about Michalowski's credibility.
And I've been calling for over a week, and we have respected your privacy before you filed the lawsuit. Now that you filed the lawsuit, we'd like to...
my attorney?
She hasn't returned our phone calls.
Edmund Michalowski's most explosive charges rely so far on his word versus that of candidate for governor Dan Rutherford, who vigorously denied them all.
Rutherford had addressed and denied each and every allegation in an earlier news conference. One of the most explosive, made by a former top aide who he'd known for 15 years, was about something Ed Michalowski said took place at Rutherford's downstate home. But Rutherford today provided expense reports and emails which seemed to indicate Michalowski was in his own bed in Chicago that night, not Rutherford's home downstate.
Looking at your political life, your campaign, biggest regret, Dan Rutherford?
You know what? I think it was probably bringing in people into places of trust and confidence, and finding that I did not make a good selection.
Here, I've been 25 years in the private sector with an officer of a Service Master Corporation, and I've also been involved in elected office, all the way from freshman class president right here at Pontiac High School, and all the way to president of the student body at Illinois State University. I've been a state representative, I've been a state senator, and I've, of course, been the state treasurer. And I will tell you candidly, in 22 years of public office, I've never had any allegations like have been lobbed against me here in the last few weeks. These last 6 weeks have truthfully been the most challenging in my entire life. There's no question about it. It's been horrible. It's been horrible for my family. It's been horrible for my staff. It's been horrible for the family of my staff. And it's been horrible for my friends. That said, I'm looking forward to vindicating myself. I'm going to tell you up front, that is going to happen. You know, we've seen success, and the reason we've been successful, I believe, is that we have done what Steve talked about at the onset. We have been successful in reaching into communities of diversity. My Republican Party is not good at that. And if my Republican Party intends to be winners, they need to do like we have done to be successful where we are. And the other thing is, the drawing of fair legislative maps, very candidly, that's where the real problem in the General Assembly lies. It's how those maps are drawn. And what I intend to do is I'm going to be dedicating myself to helping get the Fair Map Amendment on the ballot and having it adopted. So let me, right now, through your media lenses, to all my friends throughout the state of Illinois, say thank you. Thank you very, very much for all your help and support. And you know what? Dan Rutherford's not going away. Real clear, Dan Rutherford is not going away. I'm going to be back. There is no question I'm going to be back. And if somebody comes back in with the type of campaigns you talked about, you know, you almost got to be like a manatee. Be ready for it and have that tough leather hide. I'm honored to be back here with you today. Thank you so much.